we had already said, and it is very important to remember, man is on the way to God. We are called upon to follow the same path to the highest heights God has walked before us eons ago. The wise man proceeds to me by the higher path. Thus conclusively has been ordained the path of life. The wayfarer affirms that he goes to the Lord himself. It is true, people are amazed at such a resolution, but they respect such a steadfastness. One must set before oneself the loftiest goal. Only then does the road not appear forbidding. One must adjoin the highest quality throughout all existence. One must accept higher measures as alone worthy of the highest forces. Man was created in the image of God. This means within each of us lies dormant the potential of a God. It is the very meaning of our life here on this planet to unearth this immense treasure and to develop it ever further. What a wonderful concept that man has been created in the image of God. Surely, such an exhortation is a powerful call to perfection of the spirit. Reminding about the prototype of God must lead man into new paths. Man is made in the image of God. Therefore, as the drop of water from the ocean contains in itself all the elements, forces and potencies of that ocean, so man includes in his being, actual or latent, all the planes, forces, powers and possibilities of a God. Since we are particles of the Absolute, and since each particle of the one whole potentially possesses all the qualities of this whole, we can gradually unfold this potential within ourselves during the span of countless incarnations and the millennia that reach into infinity. If you want to realize this sublime thought and walk the highest path, you must not separate God from your everyday life. The ideal to which you aspire must be a living reality, not just a dead abstraction. The key to a new scientific understanding of God is the hierarchy. Only a true understanding of the hierarchy can help you to come closer to cognizing God. The crucial paragraph of the teaching on our topic runs: the concept of God in all its grandeur is clarified on the basis of hierarchy. Only thus can the highest concept emerge from abstraction and blend with all existence. We have seen the spiritual hierarchy continues to lead ever higher, from the lowest souls incarnated in stones, plants or animals, via the human souls, up to beings the highest that we know, rulers of this earth, such as the Archangel Michael, Buddha, Jesus Christ, or the Mahatma Moriya, Even these masters occupy a certain level of Jacob's ladder only. They are themselves subordinated to other beings who are even more advanced, and they all continue to ascend. Jesus and Moria are rulers over the earth. Above them we find an entity responsible for our solar system, with its various planets, with higher, for example on Venus and Jupiter, and lower creatures, for example on Saturn. Even higher stand the ruler of our Milky Way, and those responsible for the billions and billions of other galaxies, for example the Andromeda Galaxy. These, in turn, are governed by the rulers of a cosmos, or of whole universes, and so it goes on, infinitely. Looking at the stars, we are faced with unlimited spaces, unimaginable heights, and beings of a sheer immeasurable size. Why is it so difficult for people to imagine an endless chain of creators, from the lowest to the highest, up to the inaccessible? All these members of an endless chain up to the highest peak develop in the course of natural evolution, each from the preceding stage. Hierarchy is affirmed as the link between the worlds. The beings with progressing perfection become less and less material and ever more spiritual. The development on Jacob's ladder leads from the coarsest matter, whose animation with spirit is hardly noticeable, a stone, up to the absolute spirit, which is almost devoid of any matter. Spirit is the ultimate sublimation of matter, and matter the crystallization of spirit. In this hierarchy of souls, the highest point conceivable for us is the world soul, the universal spiritual essence of cosmos. There is a hierarchy of souls, from the lowest forms of matter up to the world soul. To put it plain and simple, God is nothing but the top of the hierarchy. Without God, there is no path. Call him what one will, the highest hierarchic principle must be observed. Otherwise, there is nothing to adhere to. It is of no permanent consequence whether the disciple terms that concept God, Brahma, Jehovah, or the higher self for the time being. It is the recognition of the Supreme, whether he places it inside, outside, or both inside and outside of his physical self. You will be justified in accepting the highest hierarch upon Jacob's ladder as your God. Verily, the one who heads the chain of the hierarchy of our world is in his power actually the manifestation of God for us. The hierarchy is the line that connects man with God. Unbearable is the almighty light, but hierarchy is the link to that dazzling summit. The hierarchy leads an illumined spirit to that point where one might even be blinded. God is the final and culminating point in which, in infinity, all lines converge, towards which everything strives, and from which everything emanates, the top of the pyramid. Everything is unified in God. In Him, all opposites are suspended. In infinity, all that exists merges into unity. Where Thou abideth, O Lord, there is nor light nor darkness, all is one. It is correct to view the law of hierarchy as the summit of cosmic creativeness. Light pours from it, thoughts strive to it. Thus one should direct the best strivings to the summit of hierarchy. If we understand Him on the basis of the principle of hierarchy, God becomes, if at all possible, concrete and tangible as the end of a ladder on the lower rungs of which we are standing and ascending step by step. In this way, He becomes a natural part of our everyday existence. The directed consciousness can lead the spirit's eye to the string of pearls, which loses itself in infinity. Some of you may say, I now understand that God is the peak of the hierarchy, but that does not really help me to form a picture of Him. This is because He is too far away from us. The human imagination is barely able to form a picture of those entities that stand above Jesus Christ, Buddha, the angels and archangels. The even higher levels of the endless hierarchy we cannot grasp at all with our limited consciousness. This applies all the more to the Most High, the top of the pyramid. We do not see the end of the chain of teachers. You cannot talk to your dog about Jesus. Jesus, however, is much closer to the dog than God is to us. Thus, for the time being, we can only say, stick to those earthly and supermundane teachers and masters who are recognizable to you. Do not indulge in fruitless speculations about distant spheres of the hierarchy into which you, with your limited earthly understanding, are unable to penetrate anyway. The world lives in mystery, and the highest mystery is unrevealable. People sense in their hearts the boundary of this mystery and are capable of respecting it. One must not invent mystery, but one must respect it. Do not believe that you are ready to reveal the greatest mystery. When, as evolution progresses, you expand your consciousness, your notion of the Supreme will grow as well. In the depths of their consciousness, people feel that it is impossible to express or appraise that which is higher than all possible concepts. The Absolute cannot be conceived, for it includes in itself also the concept of infinity. But who will ponder upon the majestic and awesome idea of infinity? Therefore, we can perceive only the various aspects and manifestations of this Absolute. For the time being, it must be sufficient for you to know the path on which you can approach, and as you progress and draw nearer, recognize Him more and more. Nevertheless, let us now talk about one or the other possibility to reveal the mystery of God a little bit further. You should not believe that your intellect can tell you much about the Supreme Being. If the sublime beings testify that they have not faced the supreme origin of origins, this should not be construed as a form of negation. On the contrary, this testimony of the sacred infinitude of the supreme world only proves how unencompassable is the concept of sublime light. He is right who know the path toward light, but only the ignorant, in conceit, will presume that the brain can evaluate the sublime. Like all other objects, we can approach the essence of the Most High with the help of our heart only. When we speak of a scientific concept of God, we have in mind the new divine science of cognition by the feeling of the heart. The heart will teach reverence for the origin of origins. No man has ever found God by way of his intellect, but the path from his heart is straight and always wide open. He who feels love for God, the great origin of origins, can utter his name in his own language. Only with such an all-pervading concept can one express worthy veneration. The human heart cannot flourish without striving toward the origin of origins, inexpressible in words, but cognized through the fire of the heart. Only through constant purification and refinement of the heart you can hope to come a little bit closer to a picture of God that corresponds to reality. Pure hearts will perceive the highest. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.